How are you doing this morning? We are live here. Morning Coffee Talk Live with Dave and the Brew Crew. It is 6:02 on Wednesday, August the 5th. So everybody, grab your coffee. I'm going to sit down for a moment. Yeah. And we had another scorcher again yesterday, 102. Felt like it was 106 yesterday. Plenty miserable to be outside. Good morning, Ed. How are you doing this morning? Gregory just joined. What up, Greg? How you doing? Man, it's the middle of the week. Eric's Collab Lab joined. Hey, how's it going, Eric? Making bacon and eggs. Oh, man. That sounds good. Everybody likes bacon and eggs first thing in the morning. You know, I used to be a really big breakfast eater, and as I've gotten older, I just usually... Yeah, it smells good too. Yeah, we need to have smell-o-vision. We could have smell-o-vision, and that way we could all smell what the bacon and eggs that Ed's cooking this morning. Good. Hey, Greg, are you new here? If you're new here, let me know. Put something in the chat so that I know you're new, and that way I can get you pinned to the top here. Yeah, love it. You know, it always takes a few minutes for everybody to wake up and grab their coffee. Tasman, hey, how's it going? Ball Rat, okay. Hey, Ball Rat, what's up? Pop. They're just scrolling through right this second. Takes a minute for everybody to wake up. King of Pink Frenchies. All right, Jimmy G. Marco, what up? Hey, if you're new here, make sure you put something in the comments so that we can get you pinned to the top there. Jason D. Hey, how's it going? Good morning. It takes a minute. Dan the Man. I like that. Samford Fuss. Some people have some really creative handles. I like that. Robin, good morning. How are you doing this morning, buddy? Hippopotamus join. What's up? You know, there's a town that's like close to us. It's called Hutto, and their mascot is a hippo. And so all over town, they have these little concrete hippos all painted different colors in front of all the businesses. Thank you for the daily heart me. Appreciate that. Everybody that's on, you know, send me a quick comment so that if you're new here, so that we can get you pinned to the top. There you go. Bloated Toad, what up? Are you excited Tucker may star and third party will carry out agenda? You talking about Tucker Carlson? You know, I kind of like him. I mean, you know, at some point he was a Trump supporter, but now he's been, you know, kind of on the downside to it. I don't know. What's he going to run under, libertarian or something? Grumpy old men. I guess it's grumpy old men. Not new. Yeah, I know you're not new. I recognize that handle. Limbs Tiger. Frank just jumped in here. Hey, Frank, how's it going? If you're new here, put something in the chat so that we can get you introduced to the Brew Crew. Ryder. How's everybody doing? It's Wednesday. It's this hump day, right? You know, get over the hump today, and then it's downhill till Friday. All right, yourself. All right, Michael Holiday, UK in the house. Hey, Michael, thanks for jumping in and joining us bright and early. And Bloated Toad, I saw somebody, I saw something about Tucker, Carlson Tucker. I'm guessing that's who you're talking about. He's, he seems pretty conservative, but I don't get to watch him all the time. And I think he has a morning show. Frank, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Frank, let us know where you're from. What's it? Okay. Oh, sorry. Morning, Robin, Michael, JCC. Hey, what's up? How you doing? CC Woods jumped in. Frank, waking up from Gulf Shores, Alabama. How about that? Let me get Frank pinned up here at the top. Let's see where he's at. Gulf Shores. I've been to Gulf Shores, Alabama once. Frank has 267 followers. He's following 410. Gulf Shores can be really pretty. Thanks for jumping in here this morning, Frank. Appreciate you. I'm going to go start your day off right. Let's check out Frank. I'm going to go ahead and give him a quick follow. Thank you for jumping in, chiming in with some comments. SW Farms joined. Hey, SW, let us know where you're from. John B joined from your post. Hey, John, good morning. I always like people that get up early. Woody. Nelly Poochie. I like this. Some unique names. Billy just joined. Hey, Billy, how you doing? Looking forward to a couple of days of rain. We do need some rain, and they said, because it's been really hot, but it's been kind of dry. The humidity's been dry. So the last couple of mornings till this morning, the humidity's definitely back. I walked outside to let the dogs out, and my glasses just immediately fogged up, and I couldn't see. And so I was like, wow. The Hopper boys jumped in here. Hey, how's it going? So I knew the humidity was back, and they were saying last night that the chance of scattered showers. Now, if you're down along the coast or Houston, the chances of rain are much greater than where we're at, of course. It's my 22nd B-Day. Check my most recent post. The Bearded Gunman. Are you a gunsmith? Got 179 followers. The last account got the boot. This is your second one. Oh, wow. And the picture, you have a picture. You have a picture with a mask, like a beanie mask on. What's that about? What is it? The Bearded Gunman LLC. Okay, account. 6 Hour Hate Safe Space. Okay, so you obviously like guns. We'll have to check out your post, but happy birthday. So if you don't, it says you're 22. Okay. 22. What part of the country are you in? Norm. We are, every room needs a Norm in it, don't y'all think? Send this someplace, JC. Looking forward to it. Yeah. I mean, we need rain still, because we had all that rain, kind of feel the Gary. Hey, Gary, what's up? Good morning. Scooby Sue. Hey, Scooby Sue. Always like that. I need to stand up again. My knees just been being stiff on me in the morning. I don't know. Watermelon popping open in the garden. Yeah, because we haven't had enough rain. Nelly Poochie, what does Woody mean? But anyway, yeah, everybody can let the bearded gunman. Happy birthday, man. Oh, is that the name of your business? The Bearded Gunman LLC? Irving Dominguez, how you doing? I don't know. Frank, are y'all getting any rain over there in Gulf Shores? Because I'm going to say that southern boost of moisture was coming up out of the Gulf. I didn't know if Alabama was getting much rain or not. Chase Carter joined. Hey, Chase, how's it going? You got to put something in the chat for me to be able to pin you to the top. Classic car guy, my favorite. What up this morning? Crazy Country Cracker. Oh, man. Where are you from? Central Texas. Yes. Robin and I are both just down the road from each other. Michael. Oh, man. Good morning. You know, I went out, I guess it was this weekend, bought myself a new Ryobi weed eater, and I've been watching them because they had just the weed eater with no battery or anything else had been running like $159, and those batteries, those 40-volt batteries, if you try to buy those separately, they're $100+ just for a battery. And so, I just kept watching them, and I'd put like a reminder on that item if the price dropped or something changed. And sure enough, they didn't drop the price. It was still $159, but it came with a 40-volt battery and a charger. And so I went ahead and bought one. My other one's 5 years old. And it still works, but I've noticed that under heavy use, the electric motor starts to get hot. And when it does, it shuts itself down. And then you have to let it cool down and then start back. So I figured I'd better get them while they're still on sale, because after summer's over, if you want one, you're going to pay full price for it. And they usually don't have those deals. Looky there, half-inch of rain overnight. See, the half-inch of rain is perfect. Crazy Country Cracker, all the way from Arkansas. I love it. Sarah Cray's from Arkansas. What part of Arkansas are you in? Crazy Country Cracker, let us know. Hot Springs. I can't think of all the little towns in Arkansas, but Hot Springs is beautiful. If you've never been to Hot Springs, Arkansas, that's a place to go. And then go check out the horse racetrack. It's new, big, got plenty of restaurants in there. A good place to go we went during the week, and it was, wasn't overly busy. And we spent a whole day. Had a blast, and probably, for $20-25 you can bet on the horse races, and $1 here or $2 there. I mean, you're not spending a lot of money outside of Little Rock. Okay. Fort Smith, there you go. But anyway, Ed, that half-inch of rain, that's kind of the sweet spot. If you could get a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain once a week, you would probably never have to water your lawn. I sent 300 comments to your live. Yeah, baby. So you know what I always tell everybody right now, this part of the morning coffee talk is here are things that we can do that's free. You can hit the share. That's the little arrow down at the bottom if you're on your mobile device on the right-hand side. You can share out the live. That gets it pushed out to the algorithm pushes it out. You can some of it says just share. The other is you can hit that same arrow and just choose repost, and then it just automatically pushes it out. That's always helpful. Comments, anything in the comments section, and the chat. The more the chat goes, the algorithm picks that up and pushes it out. And then tap it on the screen, just like you see right there. The hearts start coming through, all of that. And all of that stuff is absolutely free. And last but not least, we have a goal. We're trying to reach 10,000 followers. So if you're not following, go ahead and hit that follow button. That's always free too. And I try to do the same. If you are a content creator, let me know so that I can go check out your page. You know, because a lot of people are not content creators. They get on the TikTok platform just for entertainment and join lives and, you know, all of that fun stuff. Mike 177, USAFF Air Force. Let's look here. Thank you for sharing the live. Let me get you. Hang on a second here, Michael. Yeah. Boom. I'm going to pin Michael up here at the top. Mike 177 USAFF. Lives in Oklahoma, Christian patriot. U.S. Gold 3000. Jesus is King. John 3:16. One of my favorite. If you're not following Michael, go up there and give him a quick follow. I've got him pinned there for another 35 seconds. So check out John. Check out Michael. I like that bio, Michael. Crazy Cracker outside of Little Rock, Fort Smith. Robin has a niece that lives in Fort Smith. I don't think I've ever been to Fort Smith, Arkansas. I've been to Little Rock. I've been to Hot Springs. I guess, you know, there's another little town I've been to, and I cannot remember because it's been so long. But Arkansas it's beautiful. There's some pretty country there up in the Ozarks. Pretty lakes. Some catch at the right time of the year is some pretty nice golf courses too. Even though I don't golf like I used to. Jack. I like that. Let me see here. Okay. One of the things, and I was going to share with you this morning, did you know? Let me see here. This is really kind of unusual. Not unusual, I don't guess. It's basically, did you know that tool companies these days, they, you know how they always boost lifetime warranty, but just because they say that, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a lifetime warranty. And that, you know, in the industry, lifetime warranty refers to how long they expect the product lifetime to be. And so, like, a lot of times in the fine print, you know, they'll tell you, you know, if the tool has rust or it's under normal wear and tear, it's warranted. So, like, if you know, put a breaker bar on something and break it, that's not normal wear and tear. So they might not warranty the tool. And you know, sometimes that's why when, you know, there are a lot of people that got really strong feelings about tools being branded, like, you know, got to be Cornwell or got to be Snap-on or got to be this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying that there's not some quality differences, and because I think there are. And you know, one of the manufacturers that really gets toasted most of the time is Craftsman. And for the average person buying any kind of tools, Craftsman's fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They have basically a lot of the same type of warranties any others do. But you start to see non-branded tools come over. And yeah, some of the non-branded tools are junk, but some of them are not bad quality. So, and you save yourself a ton of money. If it's not, if you're a mechanic and that's what you do to make a living, you absolutely want the best tools you can. And buying something like Snap-on or Cornwell or I can't think of the other one. But anyway, if you buy something like that, you're going to pay a lot of money for the tools, but those are good tools that will last you a long time. But just for the average Joe working on his own stuff in his own garage or in his driveway or wherever he works on it or his shop, it's you can save yourself a lot of money, and you can buy tools from Lowe's. Home Depot has their brand of tools. What's the other one? Morning, Bailey. How you doing? North 64 jumped in here. Chris is here. Grumpy Old Cat's back. Love that. Thank you for joining. Bailey is our college student that's working on her. Jason jumped in, is working on her law enforcement, her degree in criminology, and wants to be a police officer, and is currently a dispatcher. And I don't know if that's for the sheriff's department or local police. One of the two. There you go, Harbor Freight. Thank you for the help there, classic car guy. Yeah, Harbor Freight tools. So, and I'm going to tell you, you need to check this out. A lot of people are like, no way, but you can buy some decent tools on the TikTok shop. And everybody said, well, all those tools are from China. Well, half the tools that we get here at Lowe's and Home Depot were made in China too. So, I wish the Craftsman would have been able to go back to some of Craftsman stuff is made in Fort Worth, not as much as they wanted to, because basically all the stuff going on in the world, it just didn't make it cost effective. Local PD. Okay, so she's working for local PD. Bailey, what town is it? New Braunfels? Corral's Cozy Corner. Seguin. Okay. Seguin PD. That's where she's dispatching. There's some certifications that come with that too, but I'm glad you got in there. That's a good deal. Are you gonna graduate this year, Bailey? I can't remember. I was thinking it was. ... guy. I like that. ... guy. Crazy cracker. Just don't get a jack from TikTok. You wouldn't trust it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just everybody has to get different stuff. One of the big and upcoming competitors to Harbor Freight and some of the others is Vivor. Do you know Vivor they're going to have a store in Houston, Texas somewhere that's supposed to be in direct competition with Harbor Freight. But you're starting to see Vivor stuff everywhere. I've gotten a couple of things from them, and quality seems okay. I think it goes hand in hand with the same kind of quality you get at Harbor Freight. I don't know. Oh, Chris's middle son lives in Seguin. How about that? Never heard of VBot. Me either. Mike, thanks for sharing the live out, buddy. Caleb. Let's go. Oh, man. Harbor Freight has some icon tools that are really nice. So I'll tell you a story about Harbor Freight and myself. And they've been around a while. And this has probably been, I don't know, 3 years or 4 years. And it was around Christmas time. And I would probably go in Harbor Freight a lot more, but there's not one that's close to me. The closest one to me, you have to drive a toll road and it costs you like $5 to get there. from where I live, or 30-minute drive. And the other one's a 30-minute drive the other way. So I kind of live right in the middle. I was kind of hoping maybe, you know, as much growth is around here, that we would have one come in here, but we haven't. Because if we did have one close, I'm sure I'd spend more time in it. But that's the reason that I don't, is because they're not close, they're not convenient, but the prices are good. And you know, and I've bought when I do go to Harbor Freight, I rarely walk out of there without buying something. I bought a lot of my wood clamps through them, and TikTok Shop has same quality type stuff. But the story was, it was a Christmas time, and I'd been wanting to get a miter saw or chop saw, whatever you want to call them. I call them a miter saw. And it's a tool that I use a lot. I mean, a ton. And I think a lot of people, if they do much woodworking, they probably use them a lot too. But I didn't want to spend $400 or $500. And so I've been watching it, and I saw an ad come across my phone about, because I'd been looking at miter saws, and of course it popped up, and it's Harbor Freight. And they have a 12-inch miter saw for like Christmas time special, 99 bucks, right? And I'm like, yeah, I can spend $100. I said, but wonder if it's not very good. And it was their bottom of the line. It's the Chicago line. However, I really wasn't worried about it, because I also bought prior to this, I had bought a pole saw, a chain pole saw with a chainsaw on the end of it, and it was electric. And I paid like $50 for it. And people's like, oh, that's terrible. But let me tell you, that thing had a good sharp chain. I still have it, and I've cut up a ton of trees using it. Because around the house, most people can get by with, plugging it in a 100-foot cord. And you can prune your own trees and do a lot of that stuff and save yourself a ton of money. And that's what I bought it for. And I still use it, and it still works, 5 years later. And I didn't go out and spend $300 or $400 for a pole saw. And so I felt pretty confident that I would at least get my $99 worth out of it. And sure enough, of course, I had to go check it out, because I wasn't sure that they were, it wasn't a kind of a bait and switch deal, but it wasn't. It was $99. I still have it. Now, I'll have to say that I did change the blade, because the blade that came on it wasn't very good. And so I spent another, $30, $40 for a good blade. But after I changed out the blade, I've had no issues with it, and it still works. And I didn't have to pay $400 or $500 for a miter saw. So yeah. So you can get some good deals at Harbor Freight. And, I think you can get some good deals on the TikTok Shop. And I keep telling everybody this, because I don't think a lot of people really pay attention, that if you buy something on the TikTok Shop and you get it, you have 30 days to look at. I mean, if you get it and go, yeah, I don't like that, then you just contact them. They send you a QR code. You don't even have to have a box. You just take it back to like a UPS store or something and send it back, and you get your money back. I've done it a couple of times. I've had no issues. So, don't feel like you can't purchase something on the TikTok Shop, because it's their return policy is definitely improving. Of course, always read, because some vendors might, depending on what you're buying, if it's like vitamins or something like that, you can't send those back. But you can't send those back even if you bought them from another vendor other than the TikTok Shop. Vivor. Whatever that other store is you were talking about. Oh yeah, Vivor. So Vivor, you'll see a lot of them in the TikTok Shop, but you're starting to see them online. If you search for tools, Vivor comes up, and they're a company that's out of China, but man, they make a wide variety of all kinds of stuff: woodworking tools, hand tools, lawn tools, But yeah, they are the up and coming competitor to Harbor Freight. I was reading an article about it. I love pressure washing. I do too. Good pressure washer. You can make some money doing that if you know, like in the spring, a lot of times people want their driveways and sidewalks power washed, or if they have the right kind of siding outside, you know, you can power wash the outside of your house and make it, you know, depending on what it's painted with. If it's not a flat paint, you know, it's a good paint. You can a lot of times just a little soap and power wash. I always try to, like, once a year, power wash around all the windows and the siding, and it, you know, you get through it, it looks pretty good. And if you're going to paint, you want to power wash your house first anyway, a couple of days before you start painting, and then you know, make any repairs, improve your caulking. That's the one thing that people that even if you don't want to paint your own house, man, check around all your windows, because caulking outside doesn't last forever. And you can buy yourself a few tubes of caulk and caulk around all your windows, seal all your cracks. That really helps with letting all the little critters in the house and air leakage and all that other fun. Did you know Dixon Mays? No, I don't. Mike Oxlong. Nope. Was it? Keep Stack. Vivor has some great quality equipment for the price too. Yeah, you know, I will have to agree with you. I've gotten a few things from them, and I haven't had any issues with it, and I thought the quality was pretty good. Tuck pointing can make brick house. Oh man, that's funny. Oh, Nunga, good morning. Farmer John jumped in here. Hey, Farmer John, let me know. Hey, you know, if you're new here, let me know. I'm gonna pin. Let me get you pinned up here, Keep Stack. Let's see where. Here we go. Keep Stack has 1,255 followers. He's following 374 people. He doesn't have anything in his bio. The one piece of advice that I would give to anybody that's trying to grow their channel here is, you know, put something in your bio. You know, whatever. If you can't think of what to put in your bio, go to one of the AIs, GPT chat, whatever you're familiar with, and just type in there, hey, write me a bio, and, you know, keep it to so many characters, and it'll put something out there and then give you some ideas of what to put in there. But, you know, you can do different things. Just look at other people's bios too. Let's see. Does Chris have a bio? Let me look at yours, Chris. Yeah. Chris has a bio: law enforcement, 30 years, agriculture crimes investigator, retired Texas Highway Patrol, married, dad, 5 sons, Christian, that kind of stuff. That way people know you're a real person and not a bot. We don't think you're a bot because you're commenting here, but that really helps. Put something in the bio. But I like Beaver. I've done a few of their videos, but everybody wants to do Beaver. They keep wanting me to do a lawn sweeper that, you know, picks up leaves, but in Texas in the summertime there are no leaves on the ground. Now, get to be fall, I would think you know, them sending me a sample of one of those, I could demonstrate it, and I bet it works pretty good, and I probably wouldn't mind having one. Because certain times of year when the leaves really fall, I get a ton of them. And usually what I do, how I take care of them, is I'll raise my lawnmower up, put it on mulch, and I'll mulch them. And then after I get the leaves mulched, I'll put my bagger on, and you know, that way it sucks it up into the bag and then dump them in the trash, because then they, a pile this big ends up being, a third of a trash can. Or you can, like, when it gets real heavy, a lot of times I'll just blow them in a pile, mulch them, and then just spread the mulched leaves out on the lawn and let them feed the lawn that way. And then that way you don't have to worry about getting them picked up. But in the back where we have dogs, if I don't run the bagger and pick them up, then the dogs bring them in the house. Then the wife is not happy with me. So just wait for the wind to pick them up in West Texas. Well, that's true. In West Texas, you don't have to rake leaves. The wind will take care of that for you. I like that. Morning, God. Good morning. What do we got going here? John Nugent. I bought 4-ton jack for the use of my car last January. It's so heavy, I can't lift it. Man, that's a heavy jack if you can't lift it. Gabe New or Dixon's A. I don't know any of those people. Dave knows Mike Hawk. Peterson, yo. Huh. I found myself in the ER. Yeah, I wouldn't drink out of a mud puddle if I didn't need to. Mowing God, yeah. Let the neighbors do it. That's always a good thing too. If you can get the neighbors to do your lawn. I'm the neighbor that ends up, I swear, I can pick up all my leaves and the wind blows and they're all right back in your yard again. We don't have any tumbleweed here. I don't know. Chris, do y'all have tumbleweeds out there much? Do you know what leads are in the South? I guess not. Yes. Chris, up in the Panhandle, they do. In Central Texas, we do not have tumbleweeds. Cheryl Knox, John Knox. Hey, man, thanks for joining. Jump in here. Hey, if you're new here, put something in the comments to let us know so that I can introduce you to the Brew Crew. Gary Lewis, 812. Oh. Jay Gain, 26. Any advice? What are you looking for advice on? Are you familiar with rural something? They just opened one here. Rural. I'm not. I never heard of them. What kind of retail? What type of retailer are they? Brian, 1623 jumped in. Hey, man, how's it going? If you're new here, you got to let us know so that we can pin you. Oh, it's like Tractor Supply? Yeah. Gotten, good morning. Huh. They come out of cultivated land. They don't have them bad because it's all pasture close to me. Yeah. Bandit. The Bandit. My brother-in-law's farm. You need some advice. Oh, okay. What'd you do to... Well, look at it like this, Jay Gain. If they're talking about you, then they're not talking about somebody else. I don't know. What did you do to... I mean, how'd you stir that up? On what? You knew better than that. Oh... That's funny. Yeah, that rule, huh? Tractor Supply. I love Tractor Supply. Again, would there be one close to me? No. The closest Tractor Supply to me is a half hour out, and it's right on the toll road. So you either gotta drive an hour to get there or 35 minutes on the toll road. And so a trip to Tractor Supply and back for me would probably cost me just in tolls, $6 or $7. But I used to have to go there at least once a month for a few years when we were feeding show goats. And that's where we picked up our feed at because they were the closest feed store. They come out. It's a big place. Haven't visited yet. Okay. You know, a new one that's opening up here. What's it called? Shields. It's like a big sporting goods store. Have any of you been to any of those? Shields. I think it's spelled Scheels. Shields. It's supposed to be a big one. Cove Robin. All right. Copper's Cove just got a new Tractor Supply. Yeah, they got some good stuff in there. I think Tractor Supply could, I think they could probably do a little better. Some of the stuff they have in there is, just okay. And then, because they try to sell clothes and this and that. And I think they'd do better if they would just stick more to feed, hardware, tack, that kind of stuff. But, whatever. They're obviously successful. That's a big place. Okay. You've heard of it. Okay. 3D Diecast, what's up? I don't know. I haven't been there yet. I want to go, except I don't think they open until the end of August. It's supposed to be a pretty big sporting goods top store, but you won't want to go the opening weekend. You won't be able to find a place to park, and it'll just be crazy. It's called Rural King. Oh. Let me write that down. I want to check them out. When I was a kid, and I can't remember, I think it was called McMahon's. Of course, we lived rural, and it was the only thing in the area, and it was owned by an individual, but it was a feed store. You could get fuel there. They had a little convenience store, but they also had like hardware that you could buy. So it was like going to the. They didn't have a lot of lumber, but they did have some stick lumber, but they had like nails and hammers and saws and. But it was the only place within probably 40 miles of us, and man, that place did a killing of a business. I'm sure. With growth, they probably got gone, but how that goes. Yeah. Hey, just in case, if anybody ever, if you don't know, in the chat on TikTok here, if you click in that box, there's a little heart. It looks like it's got a line through it. If you click that heart, it'll give you stickers that you can tap on those stickers. Just something to put in the chat and keep the chat rolling. If you don't want to type with your fingers. You got a transfer tank from Tractor Supply, Robin? Yeah. I think it's good. The governor came out yesterday, I guess, and they want to put a moratorium on data centers. I kind of laugh about it, like the governor and all these elected officials act like they were just clueless about data centers, and I find that real hard to believe, since there's 400 plus in Texas, and 350 of them are either in 250 of them are in DFW, and the rest of them are here in Central Texas and Austin. And so I dare say that all of these politicians are near as innocent as they think they are. It really is probably more about the general public is up in arms, and thank goodness, and have made this an issue. So now they're all running for cover, saying, well, I didn't know, and I didn't this. And I'll tell you what you didn't know is probably there were a lot of big money that passed under the tables allowing these companies to have free reign and put all this stuff together and quietly while nobody knew what was going on, supposedly. I don't know that I necessarily believe them. But yeah, supposedly they're working on that. I don't know that they've done it yet, but they're talking a good game anyway. Be careful what you ask for. Kind of hard to put that genie back in the bottle. You're right, Chris. It is. I mean, at this point, you know, it is. You're right. I think we need the data centers, because otherwise, you know, how would we do this, right? It's just making them be responsible and not putting everything on the back of the taxpayer. And that's what it seems like. Everything from local government up, they want to put you know, what people don't realize is all of these entities, they don't make money. They take your money, my money. And we end up paying for either their good decisions and their bad decisions. You know, what is it they say about doctors? All their mistakes are dead. I mean, you laugh about that, but that's kind of true. They make a mistake, you might not make it. Yeah, exactly. That's all it is, Chris. Just wanted to be transparent. Don't be underhanded. Look, there's big money behind these data centers. And one of the things, and this just goes to prove, they did a state audit in Texas, and currently, out of the ones that are up and running, that have all of them, every one of them got a tax incentive, a 10-year tax incentive, every one. And their promises was that they're going to create X amount of number of jobs. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to generate their own power. And guess what? Out of 400 of them, six were in compliance. So that means the rest were not. So 394 of them are not in compliance, yet they got tax incentives. And you know, in Texas, it's already to the tune of $3 billion in taxes that are lost that they would have had to pay. And I always like it. They say they're using the tax incentives to buy servers and, you know, fund their business. Wow. Wouldn't everybody that had a small business love for the taxpayers to fund your business? You know, what if you have what if you were an auto mechanic? How about the taxpayers buy all your tools, pay your rent, you know, the things that you have to do to stay in business. Now, I thought that was about the dumbest comment. Well, we have to replace. It pays for our servers. Yeah, without those servers, you have no business. Yeah, they don't have a good track record. That's for sure. Is it the cost of R&D? I don't know. I like that. Robin says, you ever know why a doctor's office is called a practice? Yeah, because they're practicing on us. Oh man, that's too funny. That is funny. Yeah. Dad raccoons. I just like my tax money back to fund my life's necessities. Amen, brother. I'm with you there. I am with you there. That earned you a pin to the top there, Dad raccoons. Let's see here. Oh, looks like you have 392 followers and you're following 474. No bio. But thanks for joining and jumping in here. I appreciate that. Let me start you off with a follow. Y'all go check him out. I don't know, Dad, if do you have any videos posted? I don't know. Maybe you do. Mowing God. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, you know, following, subscribing, all that's absolutely free. Share out the live. Tell all your friends and family, even the ones you don't like, maybe. Uh, all right. I like this. Somebody's got Bucky's Stewart 2004. Hey, how's it going? How did you get that Bucky's icon? I better be careful that, you know, they're known for like really being pretty vigilant about suing people for using that. Some convenience store chain used a similar like logo, and boy, they sued the dog out of them. I do wood burning on empty wooden cigar boxes. Huh? How about that, Kevin McGraw? So you do like some type of artwork, or that's pretty cool, Kevin. I hadn't seen that. Christian Thompson, how's it going, old timer? I love getting called an old timer. Hey, how's it going, old timer? Well, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you, but just I always said this: you're only as old as you feel, really. If you try to keep yourself in good shape, I mean, there's no guarantees how long we're going to be here. We don't have a say in that, but we could sure expedite it by bad behavior. But yeah, I'll be 67 next month. I'm getting my first Social Security check this month on the 20th, I think, something like that. And yeah, I don't feel like I'm old enough to be getting Social Security, but I guess I am. Have you watched that series on Prime? Yes. The Men Who Built America is very interesting. And yes, I have watched it. It talks about, it's great. If you haven't watched that, the Men That Built America on Amazon Prime, go check it out. It's a series, but it's really interesting, especially if you like history and business and, you know, history, really. It's good. You know, there's a new one out. Tom Hanks is, of course, you have to pay for it. It's also on Prime, where he narrates World War II and the steps and progress. I'm holding off because it's like you can buy the whole series for like $25, but I was holding off on that to see if they, you know, make it part of the Prime package that I already have, where you don't have to pay additional for it. But Tom Hanks is a good narrator, and I like World War II history stuff. It's pretty good. We're all young and I'm 26, and I sure feel old. You know, when I was 30, there were times that I felt old. But you know what the difference is, I think, is when you're young, man, you just go. And things that you can do at 30 or that I could do at 30, I don't think I could hang anymore. I mean, I'm telling you, when I worked hard most of my life, I worked 6-7 days a week. I had 2 jobs my entire life until I think the first time I only had a single job, I was like 51 or 52. The first time I only had one job. I didn't have a business on the side. I didn't have any side gig. I didn't have a second job. I was 51 or 52. So there you go. And you know what? Not trying to get any sympathy, because I think there's more and more people that do that every day. And I mean, just look around. If you live in any city, you see Uber drivers, those mostly second jobs. You see people delivering pizzas, second jobs. DoorDash, second jobs. Shoppers, I think they have shoppers, second jobs. Amazon Flex, you see people delivering Amazon packages, you know, second job. You see people doing lives here on TikTok, second job. For some people, there are some people that are actually making some change. There's a lot of people trying to make money, but there's a few that really are making money. And I mean, I don't know, Chris, he was a police officer, but I mean, I can't tell you how many police officers I know. They do one of two things. They either have a second job. Of course, I'll have to say this, that I think law enforcement officers are paid better now than, you know, a long time ago. When my dad first became a police officer, he worked two jobs. He couldn't support us on, of course, he was a police officer in Bryan College Station, and that's a long time back. So, you know, it was a pretty small town, but he didn't make enough money. He had to work at the local lumber yard, so that was his second job. And it was, you know, a few years into his career where he didn't have to work a second job anymore. Me too. My papa was in World War II. Oh, man, I bet you got, well, I mean, I don't know if he shared stories with you or not, but I mean, there's something about World War II, not that it was good. It wasn't good, but you know, people think you got it tough then. Just imagine what people had just come out of the Depression era. And then, you know, of course, they had World War I first, then the Depression hits. Then you have World War II start, where men and young sons all go into the military and are gone. You know, a lot of them lose their lives and never come home. The hardship that, you know, that created, women had to go to work in factories and you know, try to keep the home front going. So Stuart, how do you get by with that little icon? Nobody's ever said anything. I think it's cool. I'm just curious. Stuart has the little Buc-ee's icon, and I was just curious. I can't see it up close because it's pretty small, and I'm blind in one eye and can't see out the other. And so I can't see if it's an exact replica, but that's what it reminds me of. I was just curious if anybody had ever said anything to you about it. I think it's cool, though. Wow, Robin, great job, man. I respect that. Yeah, me too. So, you know, the Great Depression. I can't imagine. I mean, just, you have to think about people who lived through that, and you know, the hardships that they you know, endured, and yet sometimes we you know, whine about stuff that we don't really know what it's like to have to suffer loss in your families, and I don't mean like a grandparent dies. I mean, that's not, but I'm talking about your brothers, your sisters, your father, and not saying that people's fathers don't pass away too, they do, but there was just a lot of that going on for a few years, and the United States were fighting wars on multiple fronts. So yeah, it was, a lot of people suffered and gave a lot. So, you know, it kind of always really gets me hot under the collar when I see stuff like people burning the flag and acting like a horse's hiney. Why is the Great Depression named the Great Depression if it wasn't so great? Yeah, Wart, you got a point there. I don't know. I can't imagine, you know, because my dad would tell me, like during wartime, of course, he was a kid, and he was in the Korean War, but not in World War II because he was too young. But he was talking about how they, you know, you couldn't get tires for your car, and they had to, certain things that were rationed because they needed all the assets they could just to feed soldiers and you know, stuff for the military. And so, yeah, if you haven't really delved into a lot of the history, it's really interesting. And you know, it always humbles me when I read stuff about what people lived through. And that's why, you know, when World War II was over, you see such a celebration. And then you saw you know, what we call the baby boomers, right? And even though I'm at the very tail end of them, baby boomers, you know, people, husbands and sons came home, they got married, started families, the economy grew. You know, the 50s and 60s where the dads would work, the moms could stay home, they could, you know, they made enough money, they could own a car and a home and, you know, have some type of retirement. But yeah, that changed over the years. So time for chores, Chris says. Cup's empty and the horses are like, time to feed. The dog's probably at the door telling him, hey, come on, we got stuff to do. You know, he's got a good pack of dogs and horses. The dogs keep the horses fed, and they keep Chris in line too at the same time. Thank you for joining us this morning, Chris. I appreciate it. During World War II, some car companies stopped making cars and made tanks and warplanes. There you go. Exactly, Wart. Exactly. Ward, I don't know if you've been here before, but I'm going to pin you up here at the top if you don't mind. I want y'all to go check him out. He's only got 6 followers. How about that? That's all right. We all start somewhere. Here, let me do this. Boom. There's your 7th follower. Y'all go check him out. He doesn't have a bio. Justin Shelby. Okay. I like that. Wart _1855 DSGG. Hey, go check him out. Give him a follow. Let's get his followers up. I don't know if he probably doesn't really care one way or the other, but I always like doing that because he's jumped in here and been really engaging. So I appreciate that. You're welcome back here every morning. We're here 6 a.m. weekdays. And you know, become part of the Brew Crew. We love people who engage. Got about 5 seconds there. There we go. Nippy Dippy. What up? My dad, as a boy, met Churchill during the war. Really? That's interesting. Raul Juarez. Hey, man. Christian, what'd I say wrong? Might have missed that. Robin was, Vietnam was over. Yeah. What? I must have missed something there. Sorry. You're talking about Trump and Vietnam. Come on, bro. I like reading that. Always enjoy watching MASH. That was one of my favorite shows. I think Ed really likes MASH too. I don't know if Chris does, but yeah. You know, I always like to do shout outs. If you're not following Ed or Chris or the classic car guy, you know, those are part of the Brew Crew, definitely. Same thing for Robin. I don't know where Jane's at this morning. And any of you that come back on a regular basis, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it because, you know, I was just looking at this, a recording of yesterday's show. Had nearly 2,000 views. 2,000. That's a lot. And I mean, without this group of people that come back every day and engage, you know, we have discussions about everything. And without all of that, man, what is this? Dad Raccoons, I have to run to the job site. Y'all have a good day. Hey, man, appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you back again. Lord Scone, community keeps growing. Man, we need it to grow. I want it to grow. I want people to, what's funny here, y'all are waking up and tackling the day. I'm here in bed about to go to sleep. Where are you at, Wart or Justin? It says Wart, but I think when you open it up, it says Justin. What part of the country are you in? I didn't even ask that. I usually do. But it's not unusual. Look, we have people all the time that join from other countries. And like a lot of times it's our morning and we're starting the day out and it's nighttime where they're at. Thanks for jumping in here, Justin. You're welcome back here anytime. Like I said, we go live at 6 a.m. weekday Central Standard Time. So, you know, jump in where, oh, you're in Guam. Okay. That's why you're going to bed right now. I understand. Are you in the military or you just live in Guam? MTTW, I'm in Canada. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Canada. Our lovely neighbor to the United States. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in and joining us this morning. I love it to see people. You know, this is the thing about data centers, and that's why I don't want to just totally, I mean, I've kind of been hard on them, and I'll continue to be hard on them because I want them to be transparent. I want them to be a good neighbor. I don't want them to cost you higher electric bills, shortage of water. That I don't want them to be inconvenient. You know, we have technology out the wazoo, and you got all of these data centers are backed by big, deep pockets, and yet they're asking for tax abatements. Why? Why should they don't give you one? I mean, how would you like to not have to pay property taxes for 10 years? Wouldn't that be great? I mean, think about if the average home in the, you know, of course, it depends on where you're at. But if, let's say you're in a big city, Houston, Dallas, Hot Springs, you know, every state's different. But if you're in a state where they have property taxes or state taxes, maybe, you know, if you're in a state that has state taxes, how much money could you put in the bank if you didn't have to pay any taxes on your property or state taxes for 10 years? A lot of money. And, you know, the data people that run the data center say that they're using that money to buy equipment for their business. Well, we could use the money to buy a couple of new cars, or maybe pay your house off sooner, or, you know, get out of credit card debt. I mean, but they don't give you 10 years of tax abatement. So why should they? You know, I just don't understand it. Nippy dippy do. I love that. That's a great handle. Yes, the Brew Crew is the bomb. You know, so I've had several people ask me, Christy O, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. Where are you at? I didn't see your, let me just do something real quick, Christy O. I want to pin you for a minute. Let's see what Christy O. Check this out. Not to be overly nosy, but she has 439 followers, and she's following 1,163 people. She's a 60-year-old lady that loves her family, her friends, her animals. And the favorite thing she likes to do is what, guys? She likes to shop. But don't we all like to shop? And she wants to start a TikTok shop. So everybody jump in here, do like I just did, hit that follow button. We got to get her to 1,000 followers. We need to get her to 1,000 followers so that she can do TikTok shop. So if you're on right now and you can help me, it's free. It doesn't cost anything for you to follow somebody, not a penny. Even if you don't go watch any of their videos, you don't do anything. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind and just go follow. Let's help her get to that goal of 1,000 followers. And Christy, you keep coming back here because we're going to get you to that 1,000 followers so you can do the TikTok shop. And I appreciate you jumping in and engaging this morning. I really do. Let's see here. So thank you. Thank you for the gifts too. Means a lot. See, my property tax is not much every year, but I still don't like paying them. Well, you know, of course, Central Texas is different. I love Robin. Robin keeps things going. We've never met, but I would definitely call Robin a friend there. Thank you for jumping in and always being here, Robin. I really do appreciate you. You know, that's what the Brew Crew's about. And people ask me, hey, how did you come up with the Brew Crew? Well, we were on live and I was like, hey man, let's come up with a name for our group here, you know. What can we call ourselves? So what I did was I was like, not this one. This is you can see this. Let me step back. This is an old t-shirt, right? 2019. Check it out. I wore this specifically today because I've started a video series called College Football Question of the Day. So if you haven't watched it, go watch them. I have them posted. It's fun. You might know the answer, you might not. I always tell everybody, don't Google it. Wait, what I'm trying to do is I let everybody kind of guess, and then the next day I'll post the answer. So if you don't know, you'll learn. You'll know the answer. Maybe you don't love college football. I love college football. I don't know enough about all of the ins and outs, but I think in another life I would have really enjoyed being a sports commentator. I was in sports all the way up until college, so I've always liked sports. I liked football, played football until I got to college, and so like a lot of people do. Southwest Mississippi, Stephen, what up? Thanks for jumping in here. Let me get you pinned here real quick, because like I always tell people, when people join us new, if you don't comment and say something, I can't get you pinned to the top there. How about that? You have 549 followers. You're following 1,673 people. I don't see a bio. And like I said, you may not be trying to grow, but if you are, let us know what your goal is. Are you trying to get to 1,000 followers? Let us know so that we can help get you there. But thank you for jumping in this morning. I know you've been here before, but I just wanted to post that. Oh, Dad of Raccoons, before he left, because he said he had to leave, he don't like football. And that's okay. I do find some people that don't like football. Not very many, but there are a few people out there that don't like football. I got it. Maybe they like baseball. Ed really likes baseball. I don't think that he dislikes football, but he grew up in the part of the country where baseball is king there. And in Texas, football's king. But yeah, in another life, I think I would have liked to done sports commentate. I'm really interested in it. So yeah, what is this? Wart, Justin says, it's 10:08 p.m. Wednesday. I'm in the military. Yeah. Hey, thank you for your service. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. I was wondering that when you said Guam, go Navy, beat Army. All right. So you do like college football then. Well, check out my college football question of the day. It's really just for fun. I don't know all the answers either. I learn as I come up with the questions. But I want to tell you, Jason, my buddy that I worked with for years that jumps on the live, a big supporter, he's sharp. He can answer a lot of questions. So he's also a big football fan, and I've learned a lot from him too. He's a great supporter and a great friend to have. So yeah, him and Asia is his Great Pyrenees dog. Yep. But anyway, so Jason, if you're still on, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, so college football, we do a few videos there. We do a regular question of the day. And really the question of the day video it's really just different things that, come up that I like to ask questions. I like to hear what people's opinions are. Some people's opinions are way over here. Some are way over there. Some are right in line with what I think. And some of them, a lot of the questions I ask, there's no right or wrong answers. Some are, like college football. Those questions, you're either right or you're wrong. But a lot of times people will elaborate on them. They may not get the answer correct, or they may expound on it and give more information. I just started the last couple of days doing a Did You Know video. Robin brought up a subject, and I looked it up, and it was really interesting about Kingsford charcoal and how it came to exist and where it started at. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You see a lot of different videos now where people do a video and they're talking about, a crime story or this or that. I would like to talk about stories that were uplifting, positive, that type of stuff. I like to talk about investing, people, how you save and invest money and prepare for retirement, how you, things that you do while you're in retirement. We have a lot of guys that are retired that join the live. We have single mothers, all kinds of stuff. But Dad of Raccoons in general hates football. I love football. I love college football. NFL, okay. Does anybody ever watch the HBO? What do they call that? It's about the NFL, and they pick an NFL team, and they go through training camp with them. Some of those are pretty good. This year, the HBO Hard Knocks. There we go. It's called Hard Knocks, and they pick a team every year, and they follow them through training camp and the first few preseason games, and this year it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks, who were the national champions last year. Hard Knocks, yeah. So not everybody has access to that to HBO. I think they call it HBO Max now. It's not as good as it used to be. I think HBO used to be a lot better than it is currently, but they still have a few things on there that are worth watching. Steven, staying positive is always the best way. I agree. Positive is, you do watch some. So, I'll watch. So everybody thinks because of where we're located that I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. And to tell you that I have supported the Dallas Cowboys in the past. I'm not crazy about Jerry Jones. I think since he's owned them, he makes a lot of money, and I get it. And I think that's really what it's more about, him making money than having a good NFL team. But the NFL team, to have a good NFL team, it's tough. That's a tough job. I don't know if I'd want to be a coach. They get paid. The coaches and stuff get paid a lot. But, can you imagine the stress that they're under? The last few years, I've been following the Kansas City Chiefs. And the reason is because there were players that came out of Texas, that played for them that I liked. I didn't really like their quarterback at first, because when he played Texas, he used to give us fits. But he is a good quarterback, and I'm, I like him. So there's some other players that came from Texas that went to Kansas City, and I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe their big success run might be over, because it's really tough in the NFL for you to have a team that is continually successful. Go Terps. Rodden. Okay. What is that? College football can get me to talk TV. Yeah. Do y'all, so one of my favorite shows during college football season is Game Day. I love Game Day. I think they do a great job. They go to different places. You get to see, different college campuses. Joe Montana was your hero. Joe Montana's a good guy. He used to spank Dallas on a regular basis. He gave the Dallas Cowboys a fit. Dallas has had, they had their era where they had a good team, and Jimmy Johnson was the coach. The coach out of Oklahoma, he just inherited a good team. He wasn't what I call a great coach, but Jimmy Johnson, I would definitely think, he was one of the better coaches. for Dallas. But yeah, I just, for some reason, and I watched, was it on Netflix where they talked about, Jerry Jones, how he got started, how he bought the Dallas Cowboys from, what was the guy's name? Shram. I can't think of it now. It's been a while, but that's a pretty good, interesting show if you haven't seen it, about Jerry Jones buying the Dallas Cowboys and the history of it. Landry was the man. I'm with you. I think Tom Landry had a lot of class. I wished he'd have been more successful, but I still think he had a successful coaching career. But yeah, he was definitely, he was the coach when I was a young man and or a young kid, really. But he did a good job with Dallas. And Tex Schramm, that was when Tex Schramm owned the Cowboys, and I liked him too. But yeah, then Jerry, bought why they call it America's team, I'm not sure, but that's what they did back in the 90s. I think the 70s for me was a really good year, and you try to think back over your lifetime and go, like, when was a really good time? Well, like here in Austin in the 70s, Austin was a total different town. I mean, it was a fun place to be. You could drive across town in 10 or 15 minutes. There wasn't really any traffic. All the towns that surrounded the outside of Austin were small towns, rural towns, farming communities, and all that's changed. And, I know stuff changes. Carl Gordon, hello. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for jumping in here this morning. And I know that, towns and stuff grow, but it's not the same as it was when I was a kid. It was just a total different atmosphere than it is today. Carl, looks like you're possibly new. Here, let me get you pinned up here. Carl's got 953 followers. He's following 8,844 people. Doesn't have a bio. That'd be the one thing I would suggest is put a bio in there. Tell us something about yourself, Carl. Are you trying to, let me ask you this, Carl. Are you trying to get to 1,000 followers? Are you looking to do something like the TikTok shop, or what are you looking for? Steven, I was 16 in 97. All right. Carl Gordon, Sulphur, Louisiana. What part of Louisiana is that in, Carl? Is that close to New Orleans? Is it northern Louisiana, eastern Louisiana, south? Mac joined. Hey, Mac. Curtis Clapp. Hey, Curtis, what's up? Let us know where you're from if you're new here. Just like Carl, Sulphur, Louisiana. I don't think I've ever heard of Sulphur, Louisiana. Southwest. Okay. Good deal. So, Carl, are you trying to get to 1,000 followers to do TikTok shop or anything? Do you have a goal that you're trying to reach that we could help you out with? Curtis Clapp, Punta Gorda, Florida. Ah, the Sunshine State. Hey, Carl, I'm going to start you off right. I'm going to hit that big follow button because, following, guys, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost you a penny to follow. So if you're not following, now's a good time to hit that follow button. I don't know who is tapping the screen over here, but keep tapping it. I love to see that. That really helps the channel. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Share out the live. Tap the screen that let people know that you like what you're. Oh, okay. Near Lake Charles. Now, I've been to the Lake Charles. I like that little town. Right off of 10. Thanks for the follow there, Curtis. I appreciate that. Let me get you pinned. Did I pin you up here, Curtis? I don't think I did. Pin. There we go. All right. Curtis has 136 followers. He's following 403 people. And I'm one of them now. And so, yeah, boom. There you go. There you go, Curtis. Right back at you. I love that. We're here to help everybody grow. If you want to grow, you just let me know. Tell your friends Brew Crew rocks. Yes. You know, I was going to finish that story. So people ask me all the time, like, how did you come up with the Brew Crew? So we had, you know, our kind of small fan base. And I was like, hey, what are we going to call ourselves? Let's come up with something. Send me some ideas. And of course, as usual, that group, they came together. They emailed, you know, me ideas. And I went through and looked at a lot of different ones. And there was 3 or 4 that were really close. And Ed happened to be the winner, but Kim was right there. She had a good one too. I think the Daybreakers was a choice, the Brew Crew, and something else. But anyway, the Brew Crew just kind of fit with the way we were going. And anyway, I made it like a contest so that, you know, whoever came up with the name would get some free merch. And it was, of course, a branded T-shirt from Dave's shop. And so I sent it out to them for participating. And I'd like to do more of that, but man, shipping cost has just gone through the roof in the last 6 or 8 months, you know, with all the stuff going on, gas prices up. You know, of course, it's just like anything else. Shipping is just, it's really gotten crazy, which makes a lot of stuff kind of cost prohibitive. I like to send out free gifts and have giveaways and that kind of stuff too. And we did a few of those, but we've, you know, because the shipping cost has gotten stupidly crazy, that I kind of backed off of that a little bit. But hopefully we'll do some more in the future. But that's how we came up with the Brew Crew. Now, you know, a lot of people say, well, you want to be a part of the Brew Crew, you know, it's going to cost you $2 a month or $10 a month or whatever. We don't do that here. You want to be part of the Brew Crew, engage, join the lives, tap on the screen, share, follow, send out the little heart me gifts. You know, it's like I think a coin. But when you send the heart me out, it puts you in the fan club, and, you know, just show up and participate. I know you might not be able to be here every day, and that's okay. You don't have to be here every day. But if you can, and you want to come hang out and drink coffee with us and solve the world's problems, or, you know, help grow your channel, whatever. Look at there, Joshua. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the buck. You know, people don't realize how just little gestures, it helps keep the channel going. It helps keep the air conditioner on when it's 100-something degrees out here. It helped put all this together. Some of this stuff I bought. Some of it was samples from vendors off the TikTok shop that we did videos on. Some were gifts from family. I always like the hot rod framed picture there. That is a puzzle that myself and my granddaughter bought it for me, and we spent several hours putting it together, and then she glued it and put it where we could frame it, and I love it because we got to spend a lot of time doing that stuff. And then, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. This is just a few signs. I had another location when I was setting up in half of my garage during when it was cool. It was great. I loved it. It had a little more space, but unfortunately, when it's 100 degrees in the summertime, I also know how hot the garage gets, right? And I was going to air condition it, but the only way to do it efficiently was to put in a mini split system, and based off of where the electrical is and what it was going to take to cool it, it would have been about 10 grand. And I was like, not really prepared to spend $10,000 since I'd just been laid off from a job I'd been at 20 years. So I didn't want to do that. So I came back out here to my shop behind the house, and I thought, well, maybe. So I had to move some of my tools into the garage and make a space here. And of course, it wasn't insulated. So, but even doing all the insulation, doing all the cedar, those are cedar fence pickets, if you want to know, to enclose the entire shop and insulate the entire shop. And then I had to cut a window in because it didn't have a window in it. So I cut that in and put in a 10,000 BTU window unit, and boom. And so, yeah, that cost some money, but let me tell you, it wasn't a tenth of what it was going to cost to put in a mini split. And I think long term, this really is probably better because it costs less to set up. I have what they call an inverted window unit. And the difference is traditional window units, when you turn them on, the compressor just immediately kicks on, and it runs wide open until the room reaches the temperature, and then it shuts off completely. So then the temperature falls, it fires back up again, full bore. D. Roy, hey man, what's up? An inverted compressor, the way it does is, one, it uses about a third of the electricity of a standard window unit. And it's, when you turn it on, you don't even hear it, and it slowly builds, and it gets the compressor up to full bore. It's just kind of like starting an engine, you know. It gets to winding, and then it gets to full bore, and it hangs there until it gets to the temperature you have it set at, and then it slowly backs off. And if the temperature falls a degree, it slowly ramps back up. So it never turns itself completely off. So you don't have that hard start, hard stop. And by doing that, they use, like I said, about a third of the electricity. So they're really efficient. So if you have window units, the next time you have to replace one, definitely look for what they call inverted. It's called an inverted compressor. They're much more energy efficient. And this one's pretty, you know, they've gotten smarter. When I was a kid, you know, you had to go over and, you know, actually turn the switch on to get them to come on. This one is connects to Wi-Fi, has a little program. I picked it up at Lowe's and I got a good deal on it. I think I paid about $250 for it on sale, but it's got a little app with it. It's a Frigidaire. It's got an app with it, and you can set the timer on it. And so I have it come on like at 5 o'clock in the morning, an hour before I come out here, so that when I come in, it's you know, it's in good shape. And then it's set to run. Initially, I was having it turn off at 7 because the weather was cooler, but now I've extended that to run till like 8 o'clock in the morning. And if I'm out here longer, which a lot of times I am, if it shuts off, I just power it back on. But yeah, so it's worked out really good. I can, if I want to come out here on the weekend and I know I'm going to come out here and work for a little while, I'll power it on before I come out. And anyway, I'm impressed with it. It's been a good one. Joshua, yeah, it is hot. You can't get that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. So yeah, all of those gifts and that's kind of you. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you. But yeah, so there you go. So that's why I always like to talk about, you know, let's do what's free. That's a tall order. AC's nice though. Yeah, it really is, because I couldn't be out here doing this with no AC. Just tell you right now, wouldn't work. 100 plus degrees. Yeah. And even this shop insulated without the air conditioner running in the summertime. I checked it the other day, and it was it was like 96 or 97 in here. And of course, that was during the heat of the day too. But yeah, got to have a little AC in Texas. That's the one thing, I asked that question of the day. Hey, what's one thing you think you could do without, or you couldn't do without? I couldn't do without AC. My roads in the garden are popping open. Yep. Yep. Robin, can y'all water where you're at? I mean, like, right, they've had such a water restriction on us here. We can't water our lawns except once a week, and you can't use your sprinkler system. You have to water like just, with the water hose. And everybody knows if you have very much of a lawn, it's pretty hard to water it once a week with a water hose. You can't hook a sprinkler to it. You have to hand water. And it's 100 degrees outside. Who wants to stand outside? Yeah, no restrictions yet. Okay. Well, we had restrictions that started early because the city leadership here is not very good. Hey, PRL, it's going good, buddy. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Yep, definitely. Punta Gorda, Florida. Curtis, is there's a lot of good fishing in that part of Florida, isn't there? Is Punta Gorda, is that closer to Miami, to that part of Florida, or is it along the Panhandle part of Florida? Oh dear, Robin. It's just so humid and the gardens are doing well. Wow. Kay, where are you at? So, like, I had a niece that lived in Bremerton, Washington, which is north of Seattle, while her husband was in the Navy. Jay Mana, what's up? Thanks for jumping in here. And man, they could grow strawberries and melons. Just that weather, you would think it might be too cold there, but it's not. Mountains of Pennsylvania. I've never been to Pennsylvania, but I've heard it's really pretty in parts up in the mountains. And the garden's growing well. What's the temp there, Kay? Because in Central Texas, it's HOT. Double HOT. Christy O, thanks. Thanks for the rose. I appreciate that. It's great. So, like I said, one of the things that we like to do is, we like to just talk about things that are going on throughout the day. I want to talk some more about sports. I'm always looking for, a new sports story. I guess the J-Man 2022. Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for jumping in here. Is the latest that, something that I think that could be really good. 75, 90% humidity though. Woo! That's high humidity. Even thank goodness it's only 75 degrees outside. Because it gets about, yeah. Can you imagine if it was about 90 degree or even upper 80s, 90 degrees and 90% humidity? That would be pretty miserable. That's when you go outside and within 10 or 15 minutes, you're like, soaked in sweat. It's crazy. Oh, I love it. Oh, I got sidetracked here. What was I? Oh, I wanted one of the subjects that I think is kind of important, and I think that I'd like to see is, you've heard me talk about a little bit about the plug and play solar. A lot of people go, plug and play solar, oh, that's not really important. I'll tell you why I think it is important. Because currently only 7% of households across the U.S. Ron Lother, good morning. How are you doing, buddy? Thank you for jumping in. Yeah, we need air conditioning to breathe. Yes, we do, Kate. We absolutely do. With the plug and play solar, the reason I think it's really important is one, in Germany, they've been doing it for years now. People who rent apartments, it's their deal is I guess a lot of the apartments have balconies or a patio or something where there's a rail, and they'll hang a panel or multiple panels on the rail, and it's a plug and play, and it plugs into a wall outlet, right? And it feeds power back into the apartment or your home in a lot of cases. And in the United States, 8 states have already passed it being legal. You don't have to have an electrician. There's not really anything to do. You buy depending on what state you're in. Colorado allows up to solar panels that will generate 1,900 watts of power. And you go, well, that's nothing. I can't power my house on that. Right, you can't. It's not meant to do that. But it is meant to, it could cut your electricity bill between $35 and $70, depending on what you pay per kilowatt hour. And it doesn't feed back into the grid because most houses have enough stuff plugged into the house that are constantly connected to power, like your refrigerator, a freezer, your Wi-Fi, all of that stuff. And you can, that solar plugged into your, feeding that amount of power into your house gets used. So you don't have to worry about selling it or making the meter go backwards. None of that. Everybody's house uses way more than that. So it just cuts the usage down. And you go, well, is that a big deal? Well, I don't know. You tell me. How many people can buy? We already know 7% of the people in the United States can afford a rooftop solar system that runs between $20,000 and $40,000. And you know, when you sign up for that, you got a 20-year note to pay it off if you're not independently wealthy. And so the reason I think that's a bad idea is because the return on investment is, you know, they say 10 years. I wouldn't invest anything if I can't get my money back in 5 years. They're saying 10 years, and a lot of people, I would disagree with that because even rooftop systems don't always use or provide enough power for your entire home where you've just, okay, I'm going to pay for the solar panels, but I don't have to pay an electric bill anymore. No, you're still going to pay something towards your electric bill because the solar panels don't work if you're not connected to the power grid. If the grid goes down, guess what else goes down? Your solar panels. They don't work. They have to be connected to a grid that has electricity to them. And that's a safety thing because they don't want the solar panels to backfeed power into the grid if for some reason there's a power outage and you got a guy, working on the power lines, they could get electrocuted. But with the plug and play, they've resolved all of those issues, safety issues, so that it can't backfeed into the line. And if every state will pass it, then there's a lot more people that could afford to spend $300 to $500 for a plug and play system. And if it saved you even $35 a month, it would pay for itself in a short period of time. And then after that, it'd be all plus. And with electric rates, they're predicting over the last 5 years, electric rates in Texas have gone up 35%. They're talking about by 2030, they're going to go up another 30%. So what are we going to be paying for power? And these electric companies kind of have a grip on things that, they don't want you to create your own power, because for every kilowatt that you generate, that's a kilowatt that you don't got to pay them for. And so, they've come up with all kinds of reasons to try to block it, but technology is continually to improve. And I think, it's kind of like one person is not a lot, But what if, you know, you're in a neighborhood of 600 homes and all 600 homes have something set up like that? You know, how much does that reduce the drain on the grid? Because what power companies do is during the peak of the day when it's hot as hell and you got to have your air conditioner running, they're charging you peak rates. And then at nighttime when they know everybody's got the lights turned off and really the only thing that's running is your air conditioner and it's not running wide open like it does during the day to keep your house cool because the temps have fallen, then their rates fall. So, you know, there's battery backup systems. There's all kinds of things out there, but not any of them really make good financial sense. But this plug and play deal could be something that could be expanded on maybe. But a lot of people could afford, you got a lot more people that could afford to invest $300 to $500 for a few solar panels that you could just plug into an outdoor outlet and it take care of, you know, your refrigerator, your other stuff. And it's like any other solar panel. Power goes off in your house, these solar panels die. Unless you got some type of a battery backup system, and they don't have a big enough battery backup system to run central air conditioning yet. So, you know, if you live in a part of the country that's hot, Arizona, South New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, anywhere along the southern edge of the United States is hot. In other parts of the country, it gets hot too, but it's consistently hot in the summertime there. So, yeah, you know, I just think that anything we can do to use the sun that's natural to generate power and reduce people's costs and make their budgets a little easier on them, we should be doing. Yet we're not doing. It's all about making a buck instead about making people's lives easier. Our electric vehicles are big in America. I would say they're bigger now than they ever have been. I don't own one. Again, you know, you put a bunch of electric vehicles out there, there's some negative to that with all the batteries and the materials that they have to, you know, mine to make batteries. I don't know. I think they need to look at hydrogen powered cars. And I think, you know, as technology grows, something will come along that will be better than batteries. Even though batteries have gone a long way, but like I said, they have to do a lot of strip mining and they got to have special minerals to make those batteries. And that's why they're so expensive. There's a few around out in the, well, so yeah, that's right. You know, the main thing here is you got to think about, we have Tesla here. What does Tesla do? They make electric cars. So before Tesla came here, did we have electric cars? Yeah, we had a few. But once Tesla came, man, you see Tesla electric cars everywhere, everywhere. A big, you know, and I guess they're growing their market too, but you see a lot of Teslas on the road. I think the Tesla cars are ugly and the trucks are even uglier. If I had to give a word of advice to Tesla, it'd be like, if you want to sell trucks in Texas, you got to make them look not so futuristic, but really, I mean, because if you get up close and look at one of Tesla's electric trucks, they're beefy looking, but they are butt ugly. And I don't think I'd drive one even if you gave it to me. Ford's got an electric truck, but I mean, who can go out and spend $150,000 on a vehicle? Not the average person at all. And I still think that if they wanted to make affordable cars without all the bells and whistles, they got to have a little bit less government regulation telling you, you got to have this, you got to have that. You know, they add all this technology that the government says you have to have on a vehicle, and all that does is drive the price up and then makes it unaffordable. And I mean, let's face it, we used to drive vehicles that didn't have airbags. didn't go far enough back. They didn't even have seat belts. But I don't think airbags are bad. But I mean, like, what was it? I think some of the stuff now, it's like you got to have a rear camera and you got to have a front camera. You know, that's not necessary. You got to have your head out of your butt. I mean, we've been driving vehicles without cameras on them for years. You know, did we have accidents? Sure we did. But people, you got to make stuff that's affordable. Doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, why don't we have in the United States basic transportation, right? Basic transportation, air conditioning, AM, FM radio, you know, engine, 4 tires, place to sit, you know, just basic. Doesn't have to have fancy seats in it. Doesn't have to have fancy carpet. You know, doesn't have to be fancy. Don't have to have power windows and locks. You can lock the car manually. You can roll the window down manually and roll it up. I mean, think about when cars didn't have electric windows, how often did you really, if it had air conditioning in Texas, how often did you really roll the window up and down? Not that much. Even now with power windows, I don't roll my windows up and down every day. I got to have a reason to roll the window down. I guess if I'm pulling up to Dairy Queen to get a blizzard, I'll roll the window down. So you know how that works. But I'm just saying, why don't they make why is diesel, why it's cheaper to produce diesel fuel, yet diesel fuel is more expensive than unleaded fuel? That makes no sense to me. That's just, again, this is a proven fact. This is not my opinion. Oil companies are gouging the consumer. They always have. If there's any reason that they think is a good reason to raise the price, they will. And they do. And they hold all of us hostage. Was it $1.88 a liter for diesel here? Wow. But that's the euro. How much is that in US, Pre? How much is $1.88 euro? And also a liter, is a liter's less than a gallon or more than a gallon? First time I've ever seen it over $5. Yeah, it's nuts. Well, Robin, do you remember Casey telling us that it was, he was in California. Of course, you know, Casey is our long haul driver. And he said it was over $6 a gallon for diesel. I mean, I can't imagine. How do you make any money like that? Yeah. Yes, $5 over here. Okay. $5. There you go. Robin, $1.35 equals a pound. Okay. So 2 pounds would be, yeah, about 2 something. Well, a liter is about a quart. So take $1.88 times 4. So that's like $6, $7. Wow, that's nuts. California is always overpriced. You're right, they are. They're way overpriced. I don't know why they're yeah. But these oil companies, I guarantee you, if you go back and look at history, I was reading an article about them because during the war, you know, all of a sudden the price shot up. During wartime or conflict, any kind of conflict like that allows them to, we got to go up on the price of fuel. They have recorded record profits every single time. Just like now, they have recorded record profits. And it is because we don't have a shortage. There's no shortage of oil. They are literally price gouging the consumer. And I mean, you don't have to wear glasses to be able to figure that out. Yeah, you know, Pre, that's funny that you said that because we were just talking about that. You know how there was a big push a while back, a few years ago, where cooking oil was being converted into fuel because diesel got so high. And then all of a sudden, you just don't hear about it much anymore. Don't mean that people are not doing it, but yeah. You don't hear about it. Melted chocolate. Caleb. Caleb, where are you working now? I know you're digital warrior. Yep, Canada, the price of gas went higher at $90 a barrel. Then it was 110. Yeah, way to get fleeced. Ding ding, digital warrior. I agree with you 100%. Jamini, Lord Scone, what's going on? What have you been up to? I see you pop in and out. Just curious what you've been up to. No shortage here. They're just saying it's overseas. Yeah. Well, talking about fuel prices and football, college football, NFL camps have already started. College football, I think, starts their fall camps today. So it's just right around the corner. Curtis Clapp jumped back on here. Hey, Curtis. Yeah. So, one of the things that I've been doing on TikTok is I've been joining a live, and the lady's name's Christiana. She's an RN. You may have seen me share her live out, but she's been really helpful about if you're trying to grow your channel, giving me a few pointers that I've used that seem to be working. And so, yeah, thanks to her. If anybody is interested, let me know, and I'll be glad to share her page with you. But she's super sweet and very knowledgeable about all the stuff on TikTok. AC's nice though, yeah, for sure. Louise sent, oh, thank you. I'm standing here talking and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a perfect time, 8 o'clock hour, to let everybody know. If you like, share. I love the fact that people are finally getting it over here and tapping that screen, all those hearts, all those likes. Man, I can't tell you how much that helps push out the live. Sharing it, liking it, and I always knew it was 8 o'clock because the AC just shut off. Follow. It's free. It's 100% free. Doesn't cost anything to follow. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I've talked my way out of the AC running, so I'm gonna sign off for today. Check out my videos. I post them daily. Question of the day, college football question of the day, and some others. So stay tuned. Watch those shorts. Jump back in here tomorrow, 6 a.m. I'll be here, and we'll do some more problem solving. We can, if there's anything that you like to talk about or you want to talk about, bring it up. You can send me an email, any questions, email me at daveshop2@gmail.com. I'll answer all your questions. If you have any ideas of things that you would like to cover or do on the show, we can do that. One of the things I did last night, I never have done this before. I think it's kind of like a battle, but it's called the peanut game. And and it's where you got two people on TikTok at the same time, and you hold your hand up, and I guess there's like a virtual bowl in your hand, and you're catching peanuts, and whoever catches the most wins or something. But anyway, it's really more fun than anything else. But Christiana and I did that last night. Right before I went to bed, right around 9 o'clock or so, she needed somebody to do that with her. That was one of her goals for the day. So we had fun doing it. But yeah, there's a lot of different little games. I need to come up with some more stuff to do. Do a backflip as you end day. Man, a backflip, really? I'd be like, have you seen the videos out there where, they first show these young men doing parkour and stuff, and then they cut to this guy that's probably 450, barely can get around, got a short t-shirt on and some long pull on shorts, and he's acting like he's trying to do the same thing. Oh my God. And I can't remember. I don't know if it's on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. It's on one of them. I've seen it, and it is funny as all get out. That guy's got a good sense of humor. If you see it, if I see it, I'll share it out. But anyway, yeah, seen that. Yeah, yes, that's right, Pre. Exactly. Oh my God. I laughed for 30 minutes the first time I saw that. And it's popped up a couple of times different, because it starts off with these real fit young guys doing parkour, and then it cuts to this big heavy set guy, and he's like jumps off a curb and puts his Crocs on, kicks barely can lift his leg off the ground, rolls around, acts crazy. But it's really, really funny. So if I see that, I'll share that out. And yeah, if you see it, let me know, because it is hilarious. I love it. Okay, guys. Thank you everybody for joining and jumping in on the conversation today. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. All stay cool. It's hot in Texas. If it's hot where you're at, stay cool. Be kind. Go do something kind for somebody today. And keep smiling. And I'll see you back here at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.